Hi grade 4, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. In this video, we're gonna to learn our first lesson in the second semester. It's about equivalent fractions. First of all, what is the meaning of fractions? Look here, we have a shape. This shape represents one whole. When we cut it or divide it into two equal parts and colored one of them, which symbol or which way we can use to represent this shaded part? At first, I will draw a fraction bar like this. This called fraction bar. Fraction bar. And count how many parts in all. We have two parts. I will put it down. I will put 2. After that, how many parts are shaded or colored? Only 1. So I will put 1 up. What's this, teacher? This called fraction. Fraction. How can I name this fraction? I can say that I have 1 out of 2, 1 over 2, or half. This shape has two halves, 1 half and 1 half. Look here to the second shape. All the shape represents one whole. We cut it or divide it or split it into 8 equal parts. How can I write fraction? The first step, write the fraction bar. After that, how many parts in all? 8. I will write here 8. How many shaded or colored parts? 3. I will write 3. How can I read this fraction? I can say 3 out of 8 or 3/8 or 3 over 8. The last one, we have here this shape is one whole. How can I represent the shaded parts? I will draw a fraction bar. Then, how many parts in all? We have 6 parts. I will write 6. How many colored parts? We have 2. I will write 2 up here. So it will be 2 out of 6. 2 over 6 or 2/6. 2/6. So we can say that the fraction is a symbol used to name part of a whole or part of a set. Here we have fraction strip and we cut it or divide it into 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. We said before the total number of parts. I will put it down, and the shaded or colored part, I will put it up. We have only one colored part, so it will be 1 out of 4. 1 over 4 or fourth or quarter. Here we have a set of circles. How many circles in all? We have 4 circles. How many colored circles? Only 1. So I will put 1 up. 1 out of 4. 1 out of 4. If I have fraction 1 out of 4, the number on the fraction bar, here we have a fraction bar, number on numerator, numerator, number down denominator, denominator. Here, what is the meaning of equivalent of fractions? Look at the shapes. We have the same shape, rectangle, 3 rectangles, and we cut the first one into 2 equal parts. Each part represents half, 1 out of 2, half. And here we have the same rectangle, but we cut it into fourth. Each part represents 1/4. Here we have 2/4. 1, 2. It will be 2 out of what, teacher? Out of the total number of parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 out of 4. And here we cut the rectangle into eighths. Eighths. We have 8 parts, 4 here and 4 here. How many colored parts? 4. 4 out of the total number, 4 out of 8. But teacher, 3 of them are equal. 3 of them represent half of the shape. Yes, and this called equivalent fractions. The fraction that name the same region or the same part of set. The fractions are equal but have different numerator and denominator. By the end of this part, I will be able to find the fraction and read it. Let's start our lesson. Our lesson for today, lesson 8.1, equivalent fractions by using area models. By the end of this video, I can recognize and generate equivalent fractions. We said before, what is the meaning of equivalent fractions? It means the fraction that name the same region or the same part of sets. How can I generate equivalent fraction? How can I find equivalent fraction? Here, look at number 3. Write a fraction equivalent to 2 out of 3. To write equivalent fraction, I will write 2 out of 3, then multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. I will multiply up by 2 and down by the same number, which is 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 2 equals 6. Now we wrote an equivalent fraction, 4 out of 6 or 4/6 equals 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. Number 4, write a fraction equivalent to 6 out of 8. I will write 6 out of 8. Then I will multiply up and down by the same number, not equal to 1. Starting from 2, I will multiply up and down by 2. 6 times 2 equals 12. And here, 8 times 2 equals 16. So 6 out of 8 equals 12 out of 16. Number 5, find the missing number. Here we have 2 out of 4 equals what? Which number? I don't know. Out of 8. Look here at this shape. I have here a rectangle. At first, we cut it into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many colored parts? 1, 2. It will be 2 out of the total number, 4. After that, teacher, we cut it into eighths. We have here 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many colored parts? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I will write 4. 4 out of total number of parts is 8. Number 6. Find the missing number. 1 out of 3 and here 6. How can I find this number? I will ask myself. 3 times what equals 6? To change 3 and make it 6, to change the small number to big number, I have to multiply it. Multiply by what, teacher? Multiply by 2. Since we multiply by 2 down, I will multiply by 2 up. 1 times 2 equals 2. 3 times 2 equals 6. Look here, teacher, at this shape. At first, before we cut it into 6 parts, we cut it into 3 parts. 1, 2, and 3. We have 1 colored part out of 3 parts. But when we cut it into 6 equal parts, we have 2, 1 and 2. 2 colored parts out of what? Out of 6 parts. So 1 out of 3 equals 2 out of 6. Number 7, write a fraction equivalent to 1 out of 5. I can write 1 out of 5 equals, and count how many parts here. We have 10 parts. I will write 10. How many colored parts? 1, 2. It will be 2. So 1 out of 5 equals 2 out of 10. Yes, teacher. How can I make sure? Multiply by 2 up and down. 1 times 2, 2. 5 times 2, 10. Number 8, write two fractions equivalent to 4 out of 12. Here we have 4 out of 12. How can I write it, teacher? I will write 4 out of 12 and start to write equivalent of fraction. We said before, I can multiply up and down by 2. I will multiply up and down by 2, here by 2, and down the denominator by 2. 4 times 2 equals 8, and 12 times 2 equals 24. Each time when we multiply by a number up and down, I will get big numbers. But teacher, I can get small numbers. I can get numbers smaller than or less than 4 and 12. Yes, teacher. We know that 4 and 12 are even numbers, so both of them can divide by 2. Yeah. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. So 2 out of 6 equals 4 out of 12 equals 8 out of 24. Number 9, 2 out of 8 equals what? Out of 4. Look here. I want to change 8 to make it 4. How, teacher? How can I change a big number to make it small number? Just divide 8. Divide by what equals 4? 8 divide by 2. I will divide here by 2. Since we divide down by 2, I will divide up by 2. I can divide the numerator and the denominator by the same number and get equivalent of fraction. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. Look here. I will solve this one, number 15. It's the same. Look here. 8 becomes 2. Big number becomes a small number. So I will divide. Divide by what, teacher? 8 divided by what equals 2? Or 2 times what equals 8? 4. So I will divide up and down by 4. 8 divided by 4 equals 2. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. Number 10, 2 out of 4 equals what? I will look at the known numbers. We have here 4 and 8. 4 becomes 8. The small number becomes big number. From small to big, I will multiply by what, teacher? 4 times what equals 8? 4 times 2. I will multiply up and down by 2. 2 times 2 equals 4. And 4 times 2 equals 8. What about number 11? 1 out of 2 equals what out of 6? I will make 2 go to 6. I will change 2 to make it 6. Small number to big number. Just multiply. Multiply by what, teacher? Multiply by 3. 2 times 3 equals 6. Since we multiply down or the denominator by 3, I will multiply the numerator by 3. 1 times 3 equals 3. 3 out of 3. Look here, we said before, any number divided by or out of the same number equals 1. Yeah. So I can write 3 out of 3 equals 6 out of 6 equals 9 out of 9 equals 7 out of 7. So any number over itself equals one whole. One whole. Number 13, 1 out of 5 equals what out of 10? I would change a small number to make it big number. From 5 to 10, I will multiply by 2. Multiply down and up. 1 times 2 equals 2. 5 times 2 equals 10. 5 out of 6 equals 10 out of what? 5 times what equals 10? 5 times 2. Now I will multiply up and down. 6 times 2 equals 12. Number 16. 4 out of 5 equals 8 out of what? 4 times what equals 8? 4 times 2 equals 8. As I multiply up, I will multiply down. 5 times 2 equals 10. Now we finished our session for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time, inshallah.